Nick Lepetsky with Amplify Capital and Kevin Griffith, CEO of Amplify Capital. What we want to do is help people understand that they are probably in maybe one of four different places in their business. They're either trying to organize their business, which is really trying to understand how their business operates, what are the important activities, what is creating a cohesive leadership team. Does everybody understand the strategic direction? And then there's the clarity phase, which is a phase above this, where once you've got your business organized, now you're clarifying your business. And you have a very clear roadmap, and your entire team understands that roadmap, and everybody understands their role, which is the key distinction here, is that everybody has very clear direction on what they are doing to contribute to growing this business.
Now that you've identified all these things that you have to go do, how do you bring the vision to reality? And it's never something that happens overnight. It happens incrementally, slowly, day by day. And you've got to make sure that the things that you don't lose the forest through the trees, right? That as your great plan is unfolding and invariably is wrong, you're adapting, you're understanding what's going on, and you're making those in-flight adjustments while still understanding where you wanted to go. And that's really what execution's about. It's being nimble and having the data flow and the management team and the organizational structure to remain nimble. All these things that go with, okay, I'm going to grow incrementally by doing X, like start to understand all the different levers that have to get pulled in order for it to go. And that'll bring a lot of clarity, right? I mean, organization inherently brings clarity because you start to see, I hadn't thought about that, or I didn't realize how important that was. And you can start to understand how to manage it. And so that clarity really means diving deeper and saying, hey, these are the things that drive my vision. So you kind of have to work through those learning curves that every organization has as they kind of transition to kind of a more sophisticated operating model, which is really what this is this web of deserved trust is a much more sophisticated model that scales a lot better than having one key person drive every decision.
Right. The state of being organized and then having clarity, and then the state of acquiring discipline and capability of executing so that one acquires this nimble state. So those three things. How can I assess where my business is? Right. If those are one of three places I am today, how do I know where I fit or where I am with my current business?
You can sit down and try to be honest with yourself and say, can I articulate my vision to yourself, right? In 10 seconds, like it's you could go deeper obviously into the detail, but if you haven't organized your own thoughts, you're all over the place and you're bouncing around, then your management team is absolutely bouncing around. From a clarity standpoint, if you can't list the drivers of your business, off the top of your head, you don't know the business as well as you should. And it's not that hard either. I mean, there's really only a handful of drivers, but as you start to understand operating leverage and financial leverage and new product launches and customers, things like that, I mean, you have to have your head around it. To me, that's clarity. Clarity is understanding very deeply those drivers.